Autoline Daily is brought to you by Borg Warner, feel good about driving. Bridgestone, your journey, our passion. Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com. And by the 2013 Hyundai Sonata. Learn more at HyundaiSonata.com.
Hello and welcome to a new week of Autoline Daily, and here's what's happening in the wonderful world of automobiles. Toyota is going to be getting a new chairman later this year. The Japanese newspaper Nikkei says the company will name Takeshi Uchiyamada, who led the development of the Prius, as its next chairman. He replaces the current chairman, Fujio Cho, and of course, Akio Toyoda is the president and CEO. Big truck sales in the U.S. hit their highest total since 2007 last year. Ward's Auto World reports that sales of large trucks were just under 346,000 units. That's up 13% from a year ago. And I remember when sales of 280,000 trucks would have been considered amazing. On Autoline After Hours last week, Harlan Charles from the Corvette team told us that the first 2014 Corvette Stingray was going to be sold at auction over the weekend. Well, the weekend came and went, and we learned that that car sold for just over $1 million. The winning bid came from race car owner and car dealer Rick Hendrick, but he didn't stop there. Hendrick also bought GM CEO's Dan Ackerson's 1958 Corvette for $270,000. The money from those sales of the Vette will be donated to the College for Creative Studies in Detroit and to the Habitat for Humanity for Ackerson's old ride. Also on sale at auction over the weekend was the original Batmobile from the 1960s TV series. The car, based off a 1955 Lincoln Futura concept, sold for a whopping $4.2 million. As we reported before, BMW is building a two-man bobsled for the U.S. Olympic team. Well, now we've got pictures of what the official sled looks like. It took BMW more than a year to develop, and it uses lightweight materials, paired with optimized aerodynamics. The bobsled actually debuted this past Saturday at the FIBT World Cup in Austria, and the USA team came in fifth. Fisker is in a heap of trouble. It's out of money. It lost most of its inventory of cars in Hurricane Sandy, and its battery supplier, A123, is in bankruptcy. But fear not, none other than Bob Lutz is riding to the rescue. He's part of a company called VL Automotive that's taking Fiskers, removing the hybrid powertrain, and replacing it with a choice of the 450 horsepower Corvette LT1 engine or a 638 horsepower LS9. They're making some modifications to the styling, notably to the front end. They also changed the name to Destino, which means destiny in Spanish. And now you can buy one for only $190,000. A regular Fisker Karma costs $102,000. Speaking of hybrids and problems with batteries, we're going to show you a company that's working on a low-cost hybrid that doesn't need any batteries. They're doing it with hydraulic pressure instead, and that is coming up next.
Dow Automotive Systems, driving solutions in automotive, commercial transportation, and aftermarket with innovative products like Betamate structural adhesives. Lighter, stronger, safer. DowBetamate.com.
NRG Dynamics, or Energy Dynamics, get it? Well, that's the name of a small startup company in Michigan that's developing hydraulic hybrids. Instead of storing brake energy in chemical form in a battery, they store it as hydraulic pressure in a tank under the vehicle, in this case, a Ford Ranger. It's a whole lot cheaper and offers intriguing possibilities. Jim O'Brien, the president of the company, explains how it works.
If a new technology has to be successful quickly, it has to integrate into existing architecture, so we designed our drop-in hybrid technology, where literally this bolts in as easily as an automatic transmission. This vehicle we kept as close to stock Ford as possible. It has the 2.3 liter, 2009 2.3 liter engine in it. Has the standard differential, standard everything else. And our unit is mounted where the transmission used to be. We had to add 3 electrical connectors and I believe about 30 splices into the wire harness. And then we had to add a little reservoir for where we fill and drain the unit under the engine compartment. The entire integration process from stock Ranger to our unit installed and driving was less than 6.5 hours with 2 people.
The hydraulic hybrid pretty much looks like any Ford Ranger, but it's pretty noisy when you accelerate. That noise is one of the hurdles they have to overcome, but remember, it is still under development. One thing that impressed me is that while this is a prototype vehicle, the installation is very clean both underneath the vehicle and in the engine compartment. You can see how they were able to keep this Ranger about as stock as it comes.
In the EPA city cycle, we've done as well as 38 miles to the gallon with this truck. The performance is really more up to the OEM that wants to use the technology than it is a limit of the technology. But our real goal is actually compete with automatic transmissions. We anticipate that we would have a $500 or so delta long-term price differential between us and an automatic transmission. So the electric hybrids, we just think they're all way too expensive.
I'm intrigued about the possibilities for hydraulic hybrids, especially for body-on-frame vehicles, where there's plenty of storage room between the frame rails for hydraulic storage tanks. The fact that they can deliver 38 miles per gallon in a Ford Ranger at a cost of about $500 more than an automatic transmission is very promising, because remember, this system allows them to get rid of the transmission, so overall it may only add about $500 to the vehicle. If they figure out how to overcome the noise issues, you could be looking at the future right here. Speaking of powertrains, have we got a great guest on Autoline After Hours this Thursday? Mose Noland spent 55 years designing and building the greatest racing engines ever to come out of the Ford Motor Company. So join me and the auto extremist Peter DeLorenzo for the best insight into cars in the business. And that wraps up today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.